Nobel Prize winner, Michigan native.
London experiences ritualistic child abuse. Hi, I'm Chelsea Birdsall.
And I'm Samantha Ruff with your Public Eye News. Fall is the time to get out and enjoy the festivities. So if you're looking to get out this weekend, make sure to stop at the second annual Baraga Avenue Harvest Festival in Marquette. The Downtown Development Authority has partnered with Getz's, Carhartt, and New Holland. New Holland will show off their new beer called the Carhartt Woodman Beer. The event will take place on Saturday from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and will also include a petting zoo. One winner out of the three for the recent Nobel Prize for Chemistry is originally a Michigan native. Eric Betzig was born in Ann Arbor and he previously worked in the state. Betzig and the other two scientists won the prize for finding out how to make microscopes more powerful than they were before. Betzig currently works at the Howard Hughes Medical Institute in Ashburn, Virginia.
Traffic delays occurred this morning near Teal Lake in Negaunee due to a two-car accident. At 9 a.m., Negaunee City Fire and Police responded to the accident call. An ambulance was not needed at the scene and no injuries have been reported. 3 people have now pleaded guilty to murder and other crimes in the murder case of a 19-year-old Michigan State University student, Dustin Frolka. 17-year-old Brendan Helm pleaded guilty to first-degree murder this morning and now faces 32 to 60 years in prison, according to the Lansing State Journal. On February 15th, Frolka, an Owasso native, was beaten and robbed and later pronounced dead at the hospital. Earlier this year, 18-year-old Tyrell Brendanitz was convicted of second-degree murder and 18-year-old Samantha Grigg was convicted of manslaughter and unarmed robbery in the Frolka case.
The Department of Natural Resources has just released its deer predictions for this season. The program biologists are predicting that hunters will see similar results to last year's season. It is also said in the report that due to the reoccurring severe winters, the population of deer across the UP have decreased, with most losses occurring with fawns and yearlings. There will also be several important changes for the license this year, including information on the types of licenses, multiple deer regulations, and deer management unit boundaries. An estimated 1,000 gallons of fuel was spilled into a marsh near Randolph in Columbia County by an overturned tanker truck. Witnesses of the scene said it looked like the driver of the truck swerved to avoid hitting an animal that was in the road, possibly a deer. The driver was taken via ambulance to a hospital. The extent of the injuries have not been stated. The tanker was hauling a total of 8,500 gallons of gas and diesel fuel. The crash shut down the highway for approximately 73 hours. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Next time on the PBS Arts Fall Festival, live from Lincoln Center presents Nathan Lane in the Tony Award-winning play, The Nance.
I brought these here music books.
Oh, I'm usually more comfortable with a hymn. What?
The story of a burlesque comic who can only be his true self when he's on stage. Next time on the PBS Arts Fall Festival, live from Lincoln Center, The Nance.
Friday evening at 9 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. An Islamic State group released a video featuring a man who is believed to be from North America, and the FBI is inquiring public assistance in identifying the man. A short segment has been released of the video in order to promote identification. The man in question is dressed in desert camouflage, his face covered in speaks English with a North American accent, according to the FBI. A dozen Americans have been identified and working alongside the Islamic State, according to FBI Director Jim Comey. The FBI encourages those with knowledge to come forward and stop Westerners from joining the fight. The first person diagnosed with Ebola in the United States has died. Omar Villafranca reports from Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital.
Thomas Eric Duncan is now the first person in the United States to die from Ebola. The 42-year-old Liberian man passed away after being hospitalized at Texas Health Presbyterian in Dallas since late last month. The hospital released a statement expressing its condolences and saying, "Ebola is a disease that attacks the body in many ways. We'll continue every effort to contain the spread of the virus and protect people from this threat." Duncan was originally sent home when he first came to the hospital. By the time he was admitted 4 days later, his condition had worsened. Duncan, who brought the virus back with him from Liberia, received experimental treatment and kidney dialysis. Health officials are keeping a close eye on the people Duncan came into contact with, either directly or indirectly, while he was contagious. They say this is the midpoint of the virus's incubation period, so anyone who was infected could start showing symptoms in the next few days. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
Slavic designer Stefan Klein is turning his dream of flying cars into reality. He first got the idea to start working on them when he was in college, saying that flying has always been in his blood. His first flying car for two is blue and white and measures 6 meters long, so it will fit nicely in a parking space. But once it reaches an airport, it extends its wings within seconds to become a plane. There have been about 20 attempts to manufacture a flying car around the globe. Among them, Aeromobile appears to be the best. Once an Aeromobile is airborne, it has a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour and can travel as far as 700 kilometers. Klein and his team are working on the next generation of Aeromobile that will hopefully go into production in the next few months and receive Slavic ultralight aircraft certification. California officials have grounded air tankers after a fatal crash Tuesday in Yosemite National Park. A team from the National Transportation Safety Board will begin investigating what caused the accident. Officials believe the pilot was trying to drop fire retardant on a wildfire when his plane hit a canyon wall. Vigat Shaban reports near the crash site.
These photos show the crash site, moments after a California Fire air tanker slammed into a canyon wall in Yosemite National Park. The pilot died in yesterday's crash. Ken Yeager captured the flaming wreckage on his camera.
I was right up the street here, and I saw the black smoke cloud going up and went out and took pictures immediately.
The west entrance here to Yosemite National Park remains closed. The pilot crashed right on the edge of the park, and about 60 homes nearby were forced to evacuate because of the wildfire. More than 100 acres have been burned since the fire started Tuesday afternoon. Fire officials say the pilot was flying a Grumman S-2T air tanker similar to this one.
They are the heart and soul of our air fleet. They fight wildfires across the state, and obviously this year has been a very busy year.
Officials say they'll work with the National Transportation Safety Board to determine what caused the crash. Vigat Shaban, CBS News, El Portal, California.
As winter approaches, the UN Refugee Agency is advising the European Union to change its policy about Syrian refugees, worrying the fatal accidents will increase dramatically. The UNHCR also urged the 28-nation bloc to send relief assistance to Greece, Italy, and Malta as illegal sea crossings grow. The UN reported 3,000 asylum seeker deaths in an attempt to cross the Mediterranean Sea this year. Greek authorities expect immigrants and asylum seekers apprehended this year will triple in comparison to 2013, with the most coming from Syria. Child abuse cases linked to witchcraft and rituals are on the rise, according to London police. 27 cases have been reported so far this year, compared to the 24 cases reported in 2013 and the 19 cases in 2012. The cases included children being swung in exorcisms and hitting their heads, and others being drowned to rid evil spirits from their bodies. Metro Police have released training videos to inform officials the signs of ritualistic child abuse. The cases have been coined hidden crimes by Detective Superintendent Terry Sharp to describe when a caregiver firmly believes a child is possessed. After the break, we'll have your weather and sports.
This week on Media Meet, the Michigan Turnaround Plan, which applies business insight to the state's economic recovery, is 6 years old, and Michigan growth now outpaces the national average. I'm Bill Hart. We'll discuss the 2014 update with business leaders for Michigan President Doug Rothwell and Lake Superior Community Partnership CEO Amy Klickner. The Michigan Turnaround Plan this week on Media Meet.
Hi, I'm Jenny Tichkowski and welcome back to Public Eye News. As you can see behind me, it's been a cold, cloudy day on campus with light showers throughout the day. Today it is cloudy with the temperature of 43 and winds out of the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 24.79 inches and steady. And tonight it's going to be mostly clear with a low of 38 and winds out of the west at 13 miles per hour. And then tomorrow it's going to be cloudy with a high of 48 and winds out of the northwest at 14 miles per hour. And in Sault Ste. Marie, it's 45 and cloudy. In Manistee, it's 46 and cloudy. It's also cloudy and 48 in Escanaba. And down in Menominee, it's 51 and cloudy. And it's 47 and partly cloudy in Iron Mountain. It's 45 and mostly sunny in Ironwood. 43 and cloudy in Houghton. And back here in Marquette, it's 43 and cloudy. Looking ahead, Friday, it's going to be cloudy with a high of 45 and low of 37. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 48 and low of 35. And Sunday, partly cloudy with a high of 53 and low of 44. So the upcoming forecast is pretty cloudy, and I heard it was that way for Adrian Peterson, too.
Yes, indeed, Jenny. It's going to remain that way until his court date. We'll see what happens in turn. December 1st has been set as a tentative date for Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson to stand trial on a felony child abuse charge. According to Peterson's attorney, Peterson did not enter a plea to the charge, but planned to plead not guilty if he was asked to enter a plea. A spokesman for Peterson told ESPN that, quote, Adrian is going to trial. He's not looking for a deal, end quote. Peterson made his first court appearance in Texas on Wednesday since his indictment last month. The hearing was in Conroe, located north of Houston. Peterson was accompanied by his wife and attorney in the courtroom. The star running back has said he never intended to harm his 4-year-old son by spanking him with a tree branch earlier this year. Former Green Bay Packer and NFL great Brett Favre says he couldn't be happier to see Denver Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning on the brink of breaking his NFL record of 508 touchdown throws. Manning has 503 heading into Denver's road game Sunday against the New York Jets. Favre says he's thrilled for Manning, who's coming off a career-best 479-yard passing performance against Arizona that included 4 touchdowns. That performance made Manning the second quarterback to reach 500 and moved him within striking distance of Favre's record. Manning has thrown for 5 or more touchdowns 5 times in his career, including a 6-touchdown game against Detroit in 2004, and set an NFL record with 7 touchdowns in the Broncos' 2013 opener against Baltimore. Most likely the scenario, though, is that he'll top it at home this season. In NCAA football news, Ole Miss fans were so thrilled to beat Alabama on Saturday that they were paying for the damage they did and the fine imposed by the SEC. Through a crowdfunding platform, Ole Miss Athletic Director Ross Bjork asked fans Tuesday afternoon to help pay for the 2 goalposts torn down, which each cost $11,000. The fine from the conference that totaled $50,000 for rushing the field and $3,000 in stadium repairs. In less than 3 hours, the $75,000 were raised. Bjork told ESPN that they were going to pay all of the money no matter what, and that it was all worth it. He said, quote, "This wasn't about the money, it was about the connection and cause and tapping into the emotion from the big win." So Chelsea, along the lines of disorderly conduct, I hear there's some shenanigans going on in Wisconsin.
There are quite a couple shenanigans going on in Wisconsin, you're right. An Encanto, Wisconsin couple is being taken to jail for having sex in the back of a squad car. Originally, Heather Bassett and Trevor Husnick were pulled over for drunk driving. After the deputy caught the couple in action, they were charged with lewd and lascivious behavior and disorderly conduct. Husnick was sentenced to 90 days, while Bassett was sentenced to 48 days in jail. Some of that is just really crazy. I don't understand those Wisconsin people, I tell you what.
That's pretty interesting.
That's something I definitely haven't heard of, but I mean, I guess they were already going to jail for something, so might as well just pile it on.
That's pretty true.
Well, this is all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.